Now, Pokemon is a franchise that has been around for a long time, and with so many games being released, there are bound to be Pokemon that were once really good, but are now really bad. And so today I am using a full team of Pokemon that were once really good, but are now no longer as good. And if that sounds interesting to you, then please consider subscribing. I specialize in these fun and unique team ideas, and I would really appreciate it if you do. Now with that, let's get right into these battles. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, lovely people. Today I am using a team of Pokemon that, well, for lack of a better term, they kind of fell off a little bit. So let's get right into it. My opponent is going to lead off with the Tornadus. I am going to hit them with the really powerful Brave Bird, and they go for the taunt, anticipating me to be a defensive Talonflame. But of course, I'm running a Choice Banded Talonflame. Now, Talonflame was a Pokemon that used to be really good because its ability Gale Wings granted it priority for all of its flying type moves, but now it has to be at full HP in order to make use of Gale Wings, and that really killed this Pokemon's viability. Now, Talonflame is a really interesting addition to this team because, in all honesty, it's actually becoming less and less good in its own generation, but I thought I'd include it on this team anyway just because of how bad the ability nerf was. So I swapped into my Snorlax anticipating Golden Gold to want to swap in, but instead Great Tusk does, so that was unfortunate because I had like good initiative and now I have to swap into my my Exeggutor, which is really interesting. Now, Exeggutor is a Pokemon that just got steadily worse as the years went on. Psychic types got nerfed by the addition of Steels and Dark types, the addition of the move U-Turn, and lastly, Explosion getting nerfed were all the catalysts that caused Exeggutor to really fall off. Now, this is a really interesting Future Sight Exeggutor. Now, the idea is to make use of Future Sight and the move Protect so that I could get some really powerful Psychic type damage, and this also has Terra Psychic as well. I also have Synthesis for recovery, and I have Giga Drain. And this has the Tanga Berry because Tanga Berry weakens the super effective damage of bug type moves, and that makes U-Turn hit a lot weaker into me. Unfortunately, as I swap into my Snorlax anticipating another Hurricane, they go for the U-Turn. I was like, dang, I could have stayed in. Especially since Tornadus might be more of like a especially offensive Tornadus, so they might not have any attack investment. So, unfortunately, the Stealth Rocks were set up, and that really also kills Talonflame. Talonflame is so sad because it has to run like more defensive sets with Flame Body just to, you know, just to be as fraction of it as it once could. Now, swapping into my Flygon, this Flygon is a pretty classic set because it's Choice Scarf. This Pokemon was completely killed by the introduction of Garchomp, which has its same typing, and it's like 2 base speed faster. So it's actually really sad. The only thing this Pokemon has over Garchomp is the fact that it has Dragon Dance, but I also have moves like U-Turn and First Impression on this set, because I'm running a Choice Scarf Terra Bug Flygon. And the last 2 moves I have on this are, of course, my Dual Stabs in Earthquake and Outrage. So, the Golden Gold swaps out. I went for the safe U-Turn because I was worried about the Rillaboom swapping in and setting up the grassy terrain. But they went into the safe pivot into their Rocky Helmet defensive Great Tusk, I imagine. So, I'm going to bring back in my Exeggutor here. And I didn't go for the Giga Drain at first. I just went for the Future Sight. So this turn I opted to go for the Giga Drain, but of course the Tornadus is gonna swap back in. Now, I thought here, well, I'm just gonna go for another Protect, scout out, and see what this Tornadus is gonna do. They're more than likely gonna go for the Hurricane, so I thought, well, if I stay in and go for the Future Sight, I could get off some surprising special damage. They go for the U-Turn, and my Tanga Berry activates. Oh my gosh, I was so surprised that I actually got freaking my Tanga Berry to activate, whoever uses Tanga Berry. So that's going to cause the Golden Gold to want to swap back in, and I just went for the Future Sight on that. So I was like, okay, well, I fully anticipated this. I harvest my Tanga Berry. That's another thing. I have Harvest on this set. Now, this turn, I definitely should have went for the Protect just to scout out to see what this Golden Gold was. It was an Air Balloon, so I really thought that it was going to go for the Shadow Ball this turn. But unfortunately, they went straight for the Make It Rain, and that takes out my Tauros in one hit. Tauros is such a tragic Pokemon. I really thought they would go for the Shadow Ball, but at that point, I had convinced myself that the Golden Gold was Specs. Now, this Snorlax set that I'm running, it is really something. Now, this is a Recycle Fling Rest, Sleep Talk, Snorlax. Now the idea is I could go for the Fling Iron Ball, which hit for some really powerful damage, but then I could go for Recycle and keep recycling and flinging my Iron Ball. And Rest and Sleep Talk allows me to get recovery while also having a chance to use Fling while I'm asleep. And this is Terra Dark Snorlax. The set was not good, but it was really fun. I'm gonna go for the Fling Iron Ball and the Tornado Theory. It does so much damage, but then the Future Sight for my Exeggutor is gonna be enough to take out the Tornado Theory. And what teamwork! Now, unfortunately, Terrakion is actually gonna take out my Snorlax with the close combat. I didn't really have any switches to that, and Snorlax is also a really tragic Pokemon. It was literally the best Pokemon in Pokemon Gold, Silver, Crystal, but then it like really fell off. And Raikou is another Pokemon that was once really good in the Gen 2 games, and as more better electric types started being used, and also as ground types became more and more viable, Raikou really started to fall off. Also, losing access to the move Hidden Power also did not help it, but I wanted this set to be reminiscent of the fact that it used to use Hidden Power Ice and Hidden Power Water. So this is a Calm Mind Heavy Duty Boost Raikou. This has Terra Ice, because that's like the closest thing you could get to Hidden Power. And I also have Scald on this. It gets Scald, which is really interesting. And this also has Thunderbolt. This is one of the best Pokemon that I have on my team. And as the Rillaboom swaps in, I was elated, because that meant that I could make use of Terra Ice, Terra Blast, and completely catch them off guard. I figured that I would be able to badly tank a Choice Banded Grassy Glide from this Rillaboom, so going for the Terra Blast Ice, and I'm worried about this Pokemon potentially being like Assault Vested and maybe tanking this hit, but it just one-shots the Rillaboom. That is really good, because that could easily threaten my Exeggutor with a U-turn even through Tanga Berry, and Terra Grassy Glide could really do a number on my Flygon. So interestingly, they have Primarina with the Grassy Seed, so I was like, okay, well, upon seeing this, first of all, I know that they're going to Terrasilize. They're going to be Terra Steel Primarina. Second of all, I know that this Pokemon is going to most likely go for a Calm Mind set, because it has the Grassy Seed to boost its defense, and it could boost its special defense with Calm Mind. Now, I'm also going to set up Calm Minds of my own, and all I really have to hit this with, as my most powerful move, is Thunderbolt. Primarina does have a lot of good natural special defense, though, so I knew that I needed to set up more than one Calm Mind versus Primarina, but I figured that this might come down to us setting up both to +6 and then seeing where I go from here. But the main thing that I wanted to do was stall out the turns of grassy terrain, because this Primarina is now a Steel type, and my Flygon's Earthquake is going to be, it's going to do half damage because of grassy terrain. So I'm going to set up another Calm Mind. They're actually going to start Moonblasting me, probably, praying for special attacks drops, but I actually don't get my special attack drops. So I'm gonna go for the Thunderbolt. I'm now at over +2 special attack over the Primarina, and as I go for another Moonblast, they actually do drop my special attack. So after they get the grassy terrain recovery, I thought, is this gonna be enough for me to KO them now? I'm not exactly sure. So I'm gonna go for another Thunderbolt, but I end up getting a critical hit on the Primarina. So I was like, oh wow, I'm not sure if that mattered. It might have gotten really close, but that takes out the Primarina and their Terra. So as the Golden Go swaps in, they actually outspeed me. So I was like, oh wow, I wasn't expecting Golden Go to be Scarf on this, because they one-shot my Raikou. Not my Raikou, my Tauros. So at the very least, my Flygon can now outspeed and revenge KO this Golden Go with the Earthquake. And I figured that unless the Terrakion is not Scarf, I could be able to go for the Choice Scarf Earthquake. So Terrakion comes in, I thought, okay, this is really good. I could go for that Earthquake and take out this Terrakion. But it just takes it. I thought it was Focus Sash, but they ended up going for the Swords Dance. I thought there was no way they anticipated to take that hit. And they revealed that their leftovers Terrakion as well. Oh my gosh. I really thought that Earthquake was going to be enough to take it out. And I think Close Combat would have taken me out from this range. And Stone Edge might have taken me out on my Exeggutor, potentially. I'm not exactly sure, but that was really close regardless. I didn't expect a Terrakion to tank that Earthquake. Oh my goodness. Now that, of course, is going to lead into game number 2. If you're enjoying this video, please consider hitting the like button and also hyping this video. I would really appreciate it. I would love for more people to see these videos. And this battle is against Haydunn. And if you don't know Haydunn, he also does Wi-Fi battles. And he's one of the inspirations for my channel. So I already knew this game was going to be pretty crazy, but I was excited for it nonetheless. In any case, let's see how this battle goes. Okay, I will actually say this battle was this battle was crazy. So I'm gonna lead off with my Choice Banded Talonflame against the Tinkaton. I thought, okay, this is perfect. They're not gonna see this Choice Banded Flare Blitz just absolutely cooks Tinkaton. Because the thing about Talonflame is that everybody expects it to be like heavy duty boots, defensive Talonflame nowadays with like Will-O-Wisp and stuff. But I, of course, with this team, I really wanted to bring back a lot of classic sets like Choice Scarf, Flygon, the fake hidden power on my Raikou, Rest, Sleep Talk, Snorlax, Choice Banded Talonflame, all that kind of stuff. And like, well, I guess my Exeggutor is like the only outlier because I don't have Explosion on that set. So I'm going to go for the U-turn on the incoming Mandibuzz. And as I take Rocky Helmet damage, I thought, well, okay, this has to be like more defensive Talonflame. Not Talonflame, a freaking Mandibuzz. Oh my gosh, I'm getting my birds mixed up. So they're going to go for the Toxic on my incoming Tauros. Now, that may seem like a random switch in because Tauros is mainly a physical attacker. And I do have Work Up to boost my attack and special attack. But I fully anticipate this Mandibuzz to go for the Foul Play, which does more damage based on my attack. But Foul Play doesn't do nearly as much as it probably should have. And the reason is because I'm running a special attacking Tauros with Sheer Force Life Orb. Now, Tauros used to be amazing in the very first generation. It was the best Pokemon that wasn't like Mewtwo or Mew. If you took out a Pokemon with the move Hyper Beam, you would not have to use up any recharge turns. This Pokemon was amazing because of how good normal types were and how bad fighting types were in Generation 1, with Psychic types being everywhere. So I thought as a treat, I would run a Work Up Hyper Beam Tauros. I go for the Blizzard on the Mandibuzz, but it just tanks it. Oh my gosh. That actually lived on like 1 HP, by the way. Oh my god. So now they're gonna bring in the Tentacruel, and I was like, okay, this is good. I could go for the Hyper Beam on this, and I do anticipate this thing to be more tanky on the special attacking side. Not special attacking, special defense. But I missed my Hyper Beam, unfortunately, and that miss actually really kind of mattered, and you'll see that in a bit. So Ninetales comes in. They're gonna set up the Drought. Now I thought, well, this is fine. I could bring in my my Choice Banded Talonflame and just click Brave Bird. The Mandibuzz is on literally 1 HP, and although I am gonna take Rocky Helmet chip damage, that is gonna force a KO on the Mandibuzz, and I don't have to worry about this Pokemon like going for a roost and like recovering and having to deal with a very bulky defensive Pokemon like that in the future. So now the Tentacruel is gonna come in. I'm gonna stay in and go for the Choice Banded Brave Bird, and that's where the Hyper Beam miss really mattered because I missed the KO on the Tentacruel, and they're gonna revenge KO me with the Sludge Wave. And I'll be honest, I definitely should not have like lost my Talonflame like that. I thought it would have done more damage to Tentacruel as I thought. I kind of overestimated Talonflame there, so I'm just gonna go for the U-turn and revenge KO my Tentacruel. My Flygon was actually looking really good for the Raichu and the Ninetales in the back, but as I bring in Snorlax versus the Lurantis, they're gonna be superpower, and I thought that's not really good at all because I went for the Fling Iron Ball, but I also kind of anticipated this Lurantis to be like Leaf Storm or contrary, not necessarily superpower. And that's a thorn in my side because this is going to be able to get a +2 in attack and defense, and they're also leftovers as well, which I thought was definitely less ideal. So the only thing I really have to really threaten this Lurantis is my Raikou with Terra Blast Ice. But the problem with this is that this feels like the most telegraphed Terra ever, right? But I also didn't know what else to do in this scenario, right? Maybe in hindsight, I should have just went for the Scald and tried to get off that that 30% burn chance, because I figured that this would draw out a Terra from the Lurantis, which it does. It goes for the Terra Fighting, and like I kind of expected this to be Terra Steel as well, so I could get off a super effective Earthquake as well. But as they go for the Terra fighting, my Terra Blast is obviously not going to do nearly as much if it was like super effective. And they go for Leaf Blade though. So I was like, okay, well, this Lurantis has revealed Superpower and Leaf Blade so far. They might not have anything to hit my Exeggutor because I resist both. And I could get off a Future Sight at the very least. So I'm going to swap into my Exeggutor here. I was like, okay, this is fine. Future Sight is going to hit this for super effective damage anyway. And then maybe I could stall out with like Protect. Nope, it has freaking Knockoff. Which I completely forgot about. I just completely overlooked that. I definitely should have went for Giga Drain that turn. I don't know if it would have done a lot of damage to this. But it might have put it in range, despite the defense boost, it might have put it in range for my Flygon to go for the Choice Scarf Earthquake and then win in the end game versus Raichu and Ninetales, assuming that the Raichu wasn't like Focus Sash. But still, I thought I'd showcase that game anyway because it was, I got to show off the special Tauros at the very least. It was crazy. But thank you all so much for watching. My name is SkyLaaa. Don't forget to smile, and I will see you all next time.